So in our second segment today, we're going to do something different that we don't normally do, and we're going to talk about a lawsuit that's going on, and it's a federal lawsuit in federal court between two big companies in our marketplace, and it is a lawsuit that where Compass has sued Zillow, and Zillow has sued Compass, and we've kind of sat here and talked about how do we what is the point in all of this, and I think the
it's a struggle.
The lawsuit itself it's just two people.
Does it have merits, or is it just a bunch of pissed off? Is it two pissed off companies with no merit and they're just angry at each other?
I think in most ways, yes. I think it's two big companies that think they want to control the real estate industry that are fighting over something. And what they're fighting over is what we've talked about before, which are pocket listings.
Like, are they worth it? Or are they not worth it?
Yeah.
You and I always argue the fact that, like, if we kept something exclusive inside of our office, then that's assuming that all of our agents know all of the buyers that are coming here and their needs. And that's not possible. And so there's an entire group of buyers that are coming into this state, as we know in the news, they're coming in all the time, that are not seeing our product. And our clients, therefore, are we doing the best fiduciary that we sign up for when we represent them?
I think there are certain environments and experiences where a pocket listing or an off-market listing makes sense. If you've got a high wealth individual that has security concerns and they don't want their house listed in MLS and they don't want to have the big broad exposure because the potential buyer pool is this big.
Yeah, that's true.
There are those instances where that makes sense, but
for the greater market,
I don't, and I don't.
So we've got this situation where Compass puts their office exclusives, hip pockets, on their site, and because they're not allowing Zillow then to actually broadcast them on Zillow's platform, Zillow has turned around and said, you have 1 day and 1 day only.
From the day you start marketing
the day you start marketing it. And after that, if you then turn it live, for lack of a better term, we're not going to put it on our site.
And Compass has tried to do end runs around this where they would list a piece of property as a private listing with agent A, and then when they actually put it in MLS, they would have agent B be the listing agent on it.
Yeah.
And thinking that could kind of get around that
the workaround.
Yeah, but Zillow's taken a very hard stance of if we find out you have marketed that for 1 day before you give us the data, we're not going to put the data on our site at all.
And I think we're getting into that gray area, like property rights. Like, don't I have my decision of who, when, and where?
That's the big thing that I see in all
You're
this
taking
that
it
nobody's
away from
talking about.
So it is a very interesting. We're going to keep our eye on this because I don't feel like this will be resolved quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's enough money on both sides to throw at this. Feelings have been hurt.
Yeah, when you've got two companies, I just looked this up because I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. When you have two companies of that size that over the last 10 years, neither one have made a negligible profit. They have had, 400 million in losses, 800 million in losses annually.
And they're still trucking.
And they're still fighting with each other. It's like, oh gosh, are you in the real estate business or are you?
I feel
are you not?
It seems like it's like Compass doesn't want Zillow to get too big, and Zillow's like, you're going to give me that information. You can't bogart that and not share it. If I'm going to advertise, you're going to give me everything to advertise.
Yeah, Zach was making the perfect point, which is that Zillow's a private entity. They have a set of services that they want to offer, and they want to offer those services with specific rules around them. And Compass doesn't like that. They don't like the specific rules that this private company has put. So it's
talking about rules and whatnot. Zillow can't even get an IDX feed because they won't agree to the rules for that information from our MLS. So it's like, well, you won't agree to ours, and so now it's a lot going on right now.
So at the end of the day, what this really means for you is just be very cautious about that conversation that you need to have. If you have it with us, we're going to have it. We hope you have it with us. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of that type of approach, and we want you to be the one that decides to do it, not do it just for us, because I do feel like there is an opportunity of advantage to the listing agent for the home not to go to the full market. I don't think that there's an advantage for the seller in most instances, but I think there is an advantage to the agent and to the broker that I think is sometimes sold to be more to the benefit of the property owner than it really is.
Yeah, I think that if you're interviewing agents, as everybody should, for the listing of their property, and one agent is really like leaning into it, then when you go and visit with your next, you should ask, do you feel this strongly about it? You know,
or what are your thoughts on it?
Exactly, because I think you're gonna get two strong opinions.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we hope that was really clear as mud.
Yeah.
But you need to be on top of this, because this is going to be something that can affect the real estate markets, which affects all of us.
If you have any questions, call us. As you can tell, we know everything about it.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.